Alrighty. Hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Still light out. It's amazing. Look at all this brightness for another like hour and then it's gonna be dark. But happy first day of spring. Hello, Phil. How are you? Pretty happy right now. I love that it like stays light outside for so much longer now. Yes, happy first day of spring. Everybody's waking up. All the projects are starting. Coming out of that wintertime slumber. Hey Long. Hey Tenno. Wow, I almost called you Techno. That's kind of a cool name. Tenno? Got a cool name. Okay, so before I get started, I'm gonna let a little bit more people pour in here, as is tradition on the Wednesday streams. I'm actually curious now that it's like, you know, it's gonna be lighter outside, how many people are gonna stay in anyways. It is still 6 p.m. Anyways, okay, enough rambling. Hi, my name's Ashley. I'm a character and creature concept artist and character artist in general. And I stream here every Wednesday, just kind of taking these spheres and mashing them around into whatever random shapes and creating interesting designs from those random shapes. So it is a very like sandboxy kind of session. There's nothing really like I'm not using like references. It's purely for like, you know, exploration of the imagination, shape language, all of that kind of stuff, all that fun stuff. Very artsy fartsy. Again, like just as a disclaimer before I actually start here is if you were to actually want to improve on your skills, if you want to become a better sculptor, if you want to do something for a client, anything that's serious, then I would say absolutely use your references, especially when it comes to anatomy. Always double check your anatomy. But with that being said, doing exercises like this, just sketching and things like that, is very freeing, especially if you're more on the artsy side of things. It does allow you to just explore and be free from constraints, which is really, really nice, especially if you've been doing like study after study after study. It can get a little bit taxing, and so just to put all of the references away for a little bit and do like a sculpt just to have fun is a very rewarding experience, but it's not something where you're going to actively learn. But what you can do is look at it afterwards and see what you're doing that isn't necessarily as great as it could be and look to improve upon that in the future. So again, just like sketching randomly, free sketching in your sketchbook, this is kind of the same thing but in 3D. So welcome to sculpting sketching. I guess maybe I should rename this I mean, it is concept sculpting, but maybe I should name this to sketching in ZBrush. I don't know. Hey Birding, hey April, hi Adam, Sense, Wipeout, Dark. How you guys doing? You miss me? Aw. Well, I'm here. I'm here pretty much every Wednesday. I take a few Wednesdays off because of work and things, but you know. Great to be here. It's great to be here too. Excellent. So, just before I start, if you don't have ZBrush and you want to try it out as I'm sculpting, you can get a 45-day free trial from the Pixelogic website. You can also, if you're on Twitch, just scroll down into the info panels below the video and it should be there. Like, try it. It's 45 days for free. Yeah, if you have any questions as I'm doing this, feel free to ask me. I mean, it's gonna be randomness. Always random. We're just gonna make some random shapes and figure out what it is as we go. So yeah, like again, if you do have questions, let me know as I'm going. You can ask me anything. If I'm unable to answer you, I'm gonna just redirect you to another streamer or a website where you can find that information. Hey, No, how are you? Hey, Mr. Hamza. Hey, Mim. Hey, Star. A PBR slime? Oh, I'm not doing a... What? PBR slime. You do a PBR slime. Columbia is watching. Hello, Columbia. Hey, Grim. And hello, Rye. Need to know about Sculptress Pro. Well, Sculptress Pro I do occasionally use during these streams, but I also, just as a forewarning to those of you who don't like geometry stretching and it might be a trigger to you, there's a lot of geo stretching the way that I sketch, so it does end up turning into not stretch geo, but I use that stretchiness with Dynamesh to create sort of a base for my sketches. It's an unorthodox way to do things, but it is a very quick way to do things. So again, it's just the way that I go about it. It might not be your cup of tea, but it might be interesting to look at, and some people get really triggered by this. So again, I'm sorry, but also I'm not. What tablet am I using? I am using a Wacom Intuos Pro Medium. A link to my Twitch channel. Yeah, I mean, it's right on the bottom bar right there. Twitch.tv/a_cubed. I haven't streamed in a couple of months there, but I will be coming back probably after my current contract is done. Oh my goodness. First time on my stream. Hi, Douglas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so guys, what we're going to be doing here is creating some kind of a random shape and seeing where that leads us. I do tend to enjoy my triangles, I'm realizing. So again, random shapes. We'll probably grab this and start kind of... I like to just like throw things around a little bit, and then we'll figure out what it ends up being afterwards. This is going to be very stretchy, so if that is not your thing, be patient with me. Promise, things will change. Random, random, random. Actually, that's gonna be like that. Might be interesting like this. So I am also using Snake Hook tool. For those of you who are going to be asking, why do I use Snake Hook instead of the Move tool? And that's because of how fast it is. You end up getting a much faster pull speed, you want to call it pull speed, than Move does. Okay, so here, let's just show you. The reason it just feels a little bit better, so I could turn the intensity of Move all the way up and get something like this, but there isn't, you see, like, it doesn't have that curve to it, and so if I'm moving things, it doesn't feel the same to me. I enjoy the curve of the snake hook that happens when I pull things, and it kind of, the fall off just happens. This, with the Move tool, it just kind of like grabs it and it stays with the brush. It's a very, very equal fall off. Points don't just like drop. So you'll notice if you're using the snake hook, points actually drop and they become positioned, like they stay in position, right? That's what happens here, and I actually like that, especially because it gives me that stretching stuff that a lot of people don't like, but I end up using with Dynamesh to help me design things. Hey Charles, how are you? Do I tend to go low to high subdivision and then Dynamesh? No, I mean, I don't use subdivisions until much later on. I stay in Dynamesh for a while. I just, like, I don't find the need to be using subds until I want to actually refine things. It's just easier to just keep Dynameshing things and just messing with the mesh. As soon as I get into subdivisions, as soon as I ZRemesh something, then in my head it's like, okay, now this is clean. I'm gonna make this is the clean base mesh, no Sculptress Pro on top of it, no Dynameshing, and we're just using subdivisions. And so that is something that I leave until later on, until I've got like everything I want to hash out in Dynamesh done. Does my ZBrush lag when I'm working on details and have a large poly count? Yes, but that's because I've only got 16 gigabytes of RAM, so the more RAM you have, the better off it's going to be at handling large amounts of points. Right now, my computer starts chugging when I work on sculpts that are like 40 million total. 30 million actually, it can start chugging at 30 million, but I find that like if I have 30 million, my sculpt is usually broken up into a lot of parts, and I just hide the parts that I'm not working on, so I can work on like 16 million at a time, sort of a thing. So it's not too bad, but again, that's only with 16 gigabytes of RAM. A lot of people these days have like 32. I don't know why I don't, because I'm stupid. I need to upgrade. But for the general, like, sculpt, like, I don't need... For concept stuff, like, I usually don't need to go that high. Do I use my keyboard or the buttons on my intuos when I'm sculpting? Personally, I prefer to use my keyboard. It just feels a lot more organic. I completely disabled the buttons on my intuos. I disabled the touch on my intuos because it just gets in the way. I just want the drawing pad. Like, I don't want to use like these little buttons here. Like, for me, like, okay, so here, let's see if I can show you like my, oh jeez. So the difference, you see my hand? So the difference between that is I'd be working like this, right? Like I'd be like gingerly pressing buttons, and like my arm, like it just doesn't feel right. Whereas the keyboard, it's like up here, and so like I could just, right? It's like way easier. It's way more organic. I hate the intuos buttons. I hate them so much. Oh my god. Stupid is who stupid does, yes. I am the big dumb. But that's okay. As long as I can do art. I don't mind being dumb. I'll be dumb and do art. So if you hear barking in the background, most of you know that is the Monty Bear, my corgi. And he's afraid of people, so if he hears people noises, then he freaks out. But that's for those of you who don't know who that is, barking in the background. Hey, Polly! Yeah, it's 2019. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not good with the buttons. It's pretty annoying. What's the best YouTube channel or website, in my opinion, to learn ZBrush for a beginner? Oh, probably, like, I mean, for me, I don't have a specific person. Like, there's a lot of people that I would say you could go and look at. But the Pixelogic site themselves has a Z Classroom. Here we go. Actually, is this gonna let me post this in here? Or is that cutting it off? There it is. Okay, it's in there. Here, I'll put this in all the chats for you guys. One of the new features in 2019 that I love the most. I like the new camera. I like the camera. The camera's amazing. I can match things finally. Finally match stuff. Match images. So when I'm doing like client work, it makes it so much easier because now I don't have to like guess. I don't have to like do like camera 28, whatever the heck that means, and then like assume that it's gonna like match up in max. Like it was never a 1-to-1. Now it's a 1-to-1, and it makes me so happy because I don't have to worry about that. Just watch me. No, there's like a lot of other people that that really get in depth for character art in general. Like the stuff that I do on this channel, a lot of it is just conceptual. Like I would not recommend people only do what I do. Like you gotta get into actual modeling and things. Like you can't yeah, you can't just do this. Unless, of course, like, you're a savant at it and you've been doing it for a while, like, you've been doing stuff other than this for a while and you're starting to hone in to only be a sculptor. So far, a lot of my client work has come down to being, like, a pitch artist, like, slash, like, you know, concept sculptor, like, just, like, getting maquettes done, which is pretty cool, but I don't think that it's something that would last forever, as I do believe that, you know, some client work that I'm gonna have to do that's gonna come in is gonna be, like, the full shebang, but a lot of this has come down to, like, you know, recently anyways, in the last year, has just been you know, just sculpting maquettes for people, just sculpting prototypes and things like that for creatures and characters, which is really cool. But I know that it's not a common thing. You usually have to go through the whole thing, but again, it depends, like with anything, right? It depends on what you start to specialize in. Camera 28. But you know what I mean, right? Like the POV or whatever it was called, the FOV, but it wasn't actually like real FOV. It was just like, it was like this pseudo FOV. You always put it to like 28 or 30 or 25 or something just to like, come on. But yeah, this is good. Pavlovich is amazing, yeah. ZBrush Guides is great, yes, definitely. Oh, actually, Pablo streams here on the Pixelogic channel, too. So ZBrush Guides is run by Pablo, and he streams here as well. Mortal beings. I don't know about you, I'm pretty... My wrinkles say that I am very mortal. I was about to make an immoral joke. Alright. I think I'm gonna get a better idea if I just kind of like flesh out this head. Flesh out. Alright. So again, like these stretching things, you'll see how all of this comes into play of like creating an overall look and bone structure and skin and all that kind of fun stuff. We're gonna give him like a weak chin. Yeah, this boy got a weak chin. Shout out to all my weak chin friends out there. You may have a weak chin, but you're strong everywhere else. I hate that they call it, like, people call it a weak chin, actually. Like, it's not weak, it's just backwards a bit. Why does it mean that it's weak? It supports the muscles in your head very well. Am I making a bird? I don't know, ask Mord. Also, wait, is Mord in here? Is Mord in here? Did I see Mord? I did. Damn it. Long time no see. Hey, Tam, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while. I'm great. I'm awesome. Use ZBrush to finish an unwrap of 20 subtools? Well, have fun with that. That doesn't sound like a fun waiting time. Chaos Masons is really, yeah, they're great as well. I wouldn't say that they're great for beginners, but they've got some interesting... I think the last Chaos Masons thing that I saw from them was the hard surface tutorial thing, where it's just like a couple of hours of them going from sculpt to final thing. And that was like a $10 tutorial. Like there was no voiceover or anything. It was just like their process. And I find that those things are like super helpful. And I like that it's like at a low price point too. But that's sort of like, and that's why I say like it's not for the beginner, because I feel like beginners need some sort of voiceover. Like there needs to be some sort of guidance to tell people why this is happening, right? Do I ever work with feathers in ZBrush? I mean, there aren't necessarily feathers in ZBrush, but there is, there's this thing called fiber mesh, and yes, I do. Hey, Sad. Thanks, Vogue. Look at my art station and... Oh, thank you so much, Polly. Pretty true. How much time did it take to learn anatomy? I'm still learning. It's a never-ending process. You're not here. No. Yeah, you've been busy with school? Dude, school is ridiculous. Once you graduate, you're gonna be like, wow, I have so much time. Like, even with like a 9-to-5 job, being out of school, it doesn't feel like as much time as school was, because you're so focused in that 9-to-5, like you're at work doing work things. Like the specific thing, instead of like school where it's just like 900 topics all at once. Ha! Hey Maku, I'm doing good. Actually, let's do this right here. And
oh, he's kind of cute. He's kind of cute.
Oh, you know what'd be good is if I put symmetry on for that. What? Oh. Ooh. Oh. I see. I really like the humpback on these, like, on creatures. I just realized that. Maybe I shouldn't do the humpback this time, because I feel like I do that a lot. We might come back to the humpback. It might just work for this, but... Don't be afraid to, like, when you're doing stuff like this, like, don't be afraid to just randomly push and pull things and see what the shapes end up looking like. It really doesn't matter at this stage. You're gonna end up dynameshing it, and it'll look completely different. Like, it'll all fuse together, so don't worry. You can always fix things. Yeah, we'll do the rib cage right here. Do that. And thanks, Mord. Oh, I should copy and paste that, actually. I'm gonna copy and paste that for when you ditch later. I'm gonna put that in a notepad. Z girl, hey puppy. It's your boy, West. It's your boy. Hey Maku, I'm doing good. Anatomy is killing you? Yeah, well, it's gonna kill you for the rest of your life, so keep at it. That's all I could say to that. Personal advice on getting client work, work in a studio first, have it disband, and then have everybody, like a 500-person studio where you were very social and got to know everybody, disbands all the way around the world, and then they come to you for work afterwards. That's the thing, like, I feel like I'm very lucky, where my first clients were people, like, it was like word of mouth because of a studio that went under that I was working at. It was 500 people large, and I knew a lot of people there. But I guess, like, the best, you know, if you're not lucky like that, it's just a weird thing to say lucky, right? Because, like, the studio went under, but, oh god, this is sounding really bad. I'd say, like, the best thing to do if you're looking for clients is just be visible, right? Have your work on as many platforms as possible. Put it on Instagram, put it on ArtStation is a really big one, ArtStation. Have your tags. Put tags on all your artwork of things that you think that clients would look up, you know? Like, tag it. You know, Facebook, isn't really a big one, but Instagram and ArtStation are huge. Twitter, a little bit. Yeah, Twitter, I would say. And just, I don't know, just be visible. Be posting your stuff. Don't feel pressure to post things. Also do artwork for the sake of doing artwork for you. But your complete projects, I mean, just post them, right? Like, don't be afraid to post stuff and tag it appropriately so that it gets visibility. That's... Hey Stifler, how are you? You're done school in 4 weeks? Awesome. Awesome. I mean, even if you don't find a job really quickly, sometimes that's just the way it is. Like, this industry is very, I mean, if you're trying to get a job in this industry, I mean, this industry is very finicky about jobs. There's a lot of times that you're just not gonna get hired because there's not enough work to go around, or it might not be the right time or whatever. You know, I know a lot of really talented people that just go a while without having work. So don't be afraid, like, right off the bat. Like, if you have to pay the bills, don't martyr yourself. Like, go get any kind of job that you can, do your art on the side until, like, you can figure something out. I, like, get so many, like, heart-wrenching messages from people being like, yo, I can't make it in the art world. Like, you know, I haven't been hired for 6 months. Like, I keep trying to, like, sell my art. I've only made, like, $40 in this last month because nobody buys my art. And I'm like, well, I can't, like, just get some kind of a job to pay the bills, right? Like, don't martyr yourself. Like, do art on the side until it picks up. Like, that's all I can say. Like, you can't, yeah, don't do the starving artist thing. It's not, no. Mm-mm. Well, congrats, damn. I mean, that's pretty intense. You're a stalker, you're a stalker. Okay, you got me, Mord. I was stalking you. Actually. Hey Kira, not wearing my glasses today. I couldn't figure out what was different. Actually, that's the normal thing though. Normally I don't wear the glasses. Glasses are just These ones, they're not even like glasses either. I just kind of wear them so like if I'm not really wearing makeup, then I just put my like these glasses on because I'm just like it covers up my boringness. Random ZBrush question: how do you deactivate the option of dynamic size for the brush? Oh yeah, okay, I can show you that, no problem. I'll come back to this. Alright, so you have your brush here, you hit dynamic, you're like, oh shoot, this isn't big enough, I want to make the nip size even larger. Dynamic isn't working for me. Well, okay, one thing that you can do is you can press space, right? Space, and then double click on dynamic there. There you go. And now the brush size isn't dynamic anymore. Space, double click, and it will reactivate dynamic. Usually what I do though, is I just take the entire model and then I like make it tinier because I enjoy having dynamic active. It's just, for me, it became like, it just felt nice while I was sculpting because I can predict what the brush is gonna be like. Did I use ZBrush before they introduced Dynamesh? No. No, I started using it at ZBrush 4, I think. 4R6? I think 4R, or maybe 4R6, I think was when I started use, or maybe 4R, yeah, 4R6. I'm pretty sure I started using ZBrush at 4R6. I mean, yeah, go for it, Rav. Go for it. I gotta finish a tutorial due to the environments. ZBrush is expensive for you, but you watched hours and hours of paid tutorials. Well, if you are looking, and I don't mean to be like, you know, selling or pushing or anything like this. It's just sort of a option for you if you are looking to get ZBrush. Wow, what is wrong with this? Hello. If you are looking to get ZBrush, they do have a subscription plan now, which is a lot more affordable. So 6 months you can get for $180, I think. So that's half a year for 180 bucks. And I think today is the last day. If you want to get $30 off of that 6-month thing, that 6-month subscription, today is the last day. Absolute last day. I'm not sure how much long, like it's March 20th, but I don't know what the time cutoff is for it, but I'll put it on the screen anyways, so that anybody who might want this can grab it, I guess. Here we go. Here we go. So there's $30 off of a 6-month subscription for ZBrush. I think this is literally like the last day that you can get this, and then it'll be $150 for about $150. It should be $150 for 6 months, I think. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate it. You have some stuff, but you're scared of ArtStation because you're pretty much self-taught and everyone else has like years of experience of learning. Okay, so that's not true. So ArtStation, there's like, I think a lot of people are afraid of ArtStation because all you see is the front page where it's trending and things like that. Like, and of course, like all of the things that are going to be on the front page are going to be absolutely incredible pieces of artwork because that's what everybody's clicking like on. That's the people that everybody follows, right? And so I do see where like this divide happens on ArtStation, but you also have to understand that it's okay if you're not those people, right? Because even people who are, you know, extremely talented, but they're not super visible, they post stuff on ArtStation, maybe no one sees their artwork, like it doesn't get traction, then they never show up on the front page either. I've seen a lot of people use it just for portfolio things. It doesn't, you know, disregarding like the likes and the follows and things like that. It's a really good, easy site to just drag and drop things and then put in a description, and it's clean and stuff. So I would recommend using ArtStation, honestly, and use the tag feature as well, like to put in like what kind of artwork you're doing, like is it concept or whatever, and then people can find you, even if you're not on that top row, top page, front page, whatever. thing. And a lot of people also look at like picks as being like this whole like award system or whatever, and it's like, oh, you know, you feel like honored to be on picks, or it's completely ridiculous. Like, it's just completely ridiculous, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just, you know, there's some people with more followers than others, and that's how the algorithm works currently. Who knows if they're going to change it in the future? I know that ArtStation is very open to, you know, helping out the community feel more welcome. So, but I do think that you should post on ArtStation if you're getting into character, environment, anything. Just get on ArtStation. Dog's out for a walk right now. Creature from a reference picture. Yeah, I mean, that's not really what we do on this channel, but maybe if I start up on my channel, I might do that. This is just like a for funsies thing. Before posting on ArtStation, yeah. More than one job on these days. Yeah, I mean, like, it can be pretty brutal. Sorry. Sponsor Eagle, flying in, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't want to, like, push this on anyone. I'm just saying, like, if you are, like, I'm personally not, like, I'm not getting anything from giving you this. I'm just, like, it's there, so I'm like, here. But, I have no idea how many people use this code right now, but if it was over 10, then I'm gonna be given another 6 months for free to give out as like a giveaway. So yeah, I don't know how many people use it though. Update your RC. Yeah, you should. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been posting it everywhere on my socials. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, anyways, code's gone. All right, back to work. You're used to being on like DeviantArt or Twitter where you're surrounded by other amateur artists and people who are still learning. ArtStation feels more professional, I guess. I can give it a try. See, the thing is, like, being uncomfortable, right? Like, surrounding yourself with people who are better than you is a really great way to improve. If you're always, like, if you just feel intimidated, like you're afraid of what other people are gonna think, like, I can guarantee you right now, the comment section in ArtStation, like, I don't see people making fun of other people's art, like, anywhere. Like, it's actually, like, it's actually really nice. So if there's anywhere that you want to improve on, like, I would say throwing your stuff on ArtStation is a really great place to do it, instead of somewhere like, let's say, like 10K. Like, that's like, because 10K I find is like really toxic on Facebook. It's like extremely toxic for new people, because people are always making fun of literally everyone. Like, they're just memeing at, like, constantly, but like not like funny, right? Like, they're just poking fun at like other people being bad. It's like, they were there too once, and some people that are even really bad themselves still do it too. It's just really toxic, so I wouldn't recommend 10K. But I would say ArtStation, because I don't see, like, personally, I have not seen any like really toxic comments that come in over there. But you can have like a professional you know, portfolio, and there's like a lot of other really professional people there. So you can imagine that wherever, so ArtStation, right? Like, take this for example. You've got a site where it is known that a lot of really amazing artists hang out in this area. And then you've got these other sites where it is widely known that not as many good artists are over there, but there's, like, you know, there's people, but there's not like really intense like industry professionals over on that website. But then over here, they are hanging out here. Where do you think the clients are gonna go? Right? And so even if you're not, like, if you don't think that you're at the same level as everything that you see on the front page, there's still that pool of talent, there's still that pool of clients and the pool of opportunity that's over on that place rather than over here. Over here, you know, where you know, whoever it was that said the amateurs hang out, and it's a comfort zone, right? That's what I would, a safe space. But over here is where you grow, where you learn from others, where you see that other people are better than you, and you look at your own work, you're critical of it, and you take steps to improve it, but without that sort of like thing on 10K where people are like, ah, you piece of crap, like you can't, like, why are you even here, like you should just quit art or whatever, like no toxicity like that. So think about it that way. All right. Oops. Oops. Alright, and then we're gonna do an adaptive. And so you got one, make adaptive, turn that off, and the penderinos. Red wax on ArtStation. Oh my god. Thank you, Sandra. I'm really glad that you like everything. This is great. If I could be doing anything, it's what I'm doing right now, honestly. Like, I'm pretty happy right now. It'll probably change in a year, and then again in another year, and again in another year, because constantly, like, I'm changing as a person, and my wants and my needs and my dreams and aspirations are constantly changing too, so I never, like, just hone into one thing, because I find that, like, you know, if I were to think of when I was younger, you know, when I was like maybe 7 years old, I wanted to be a paleontologist. If I had held on to that right now, I would not be happy, because that's not what I want to do, really, right? Like, dinosaurs are really cool, but I wouldn't want to be digging around in the dirt for, like, one day of the year to come across, like, some fossil, right? Like, that's not... Or then if I even go back to, like, the beginning of college, when I was like, I want to be an animator. Like, I wouldn't be happy now. It's changed, right? Then, you know, go forward a little bit, like, you know, I wanted to, what was that? At one point, like, I wanted to just, like, quit everything and become, like, a cook. It was weird, like, it was just, like, all of a sudden, I want to be a cook. But then, again, like, it changed, and I wouldn't have been happy if I just, like, stuck to that. And sort of, like, what I've learned is just, like, letting go of dreams, and not letting go of dreams, but sort of, like, letting them evolve and change, and just kind of following them as they happen, because things change, you change, and I think that there's this weird thing in society where it's just like, follow your dreams, like, hold on to your dreams, you know, and it's sort of like maybe it's just my interpretation of it, but it just, like, it feels like people get really attached to the one thing, and then what they drive so hard to get it so hard together, and they either don't get it, and they end up feeling, like, awful about themselves, because they've never achieved their dream, right? That dream. Or they finally get it, and then it's just like, well, now there's like this empty feeling. I was like, well, what else do you like? Like, you just keep doing different things because you keep changing as a person. You're never gonna keep having the same wants and needs the rest of your life. Sorry if that sounds depressing. It's not just for portfolio stuff, but if you're gonna use it as portfolio, curate your posts when you apply for a job. You can always take stuff down. Exactly, yeah, you can always like change stuff. In fact, I gotta really update mine. Like, wow. Oh my god. Mine is so out of date. One day I used to post in forums, and that was a good way to get feedback. Wow, yeah, I never posted on forums. Like, I'm not... I'm really just a baby in 3D. Single negative comment on... I mean, I've seen negative comments, but it's just like... They're not like... It's usually like commenting on girls' posts about the girl. you know, if you catch my drift. But other than that, it's like... I haven't seen really anything. Dude, oh my god. 10K is awful. I absolutely hate. I post like finished stuff on there sometimes because I know people look at it, but like I just Flip Normals is amazing. Yes. Oh my god, and I love those guys too. Henning and Mortem. Yeah, they're great. Grow was to enter a contest that some CG sites have usually good support on these two. Wow, I have not been working. I've just been talking. Yes, entering contests is great, but do your research on the contest, right? You know, don't enter just anything willy-nilly, and like, because a lot of the time I've seen like a lot of contests where they exploit artists. They say, hey, you know, for our film, like we're doing crowdsourcing for film designs or something like that, and if your piece wins, then you get into the film. But then it's just like, they should be paying concept artists for that, right? Like, they shouldn't get a bunch of people to just do free artwork for them and then just pay the winning person like $500 or whatever the stupid thing is. Like, it's bad. It's not a great... I don't support that kind of contest. Hey, Reth. Listening to your TED Talk. Nightmare with one of your creations? No, I haven't. I have not. But you guys want to see one of the grossest things that I've ever made? Let me know. It's pretty triggering. I've got 2 of them, and I never finished them. So I was doing on my stream like a year and a half ago. Dinosaurs are amazing. I love dinosaurs, but I just, don't get me wrong, like, I love them. I wouldn't want to be running around in dirt right now. Like, I'm good. Yeah, I think a lot of kids want to be paleontologists. I mean, the cool ones anyways. The other ones are like, I want to be president. I want to be an astronaut. Okay, I wanted to be an astronaut too. Fair, whatever. But the cool kids wanted to be paleontologists. Only the cool kids knew how to say paleontologists when they were like 5 years old. To contribute to the conversation, it took me 2 years after graduation to land your first studio gig, and it was the top of your class. Worked in a factory and still kept modeling. Just gotta keep to the grind. Nice. Yes, that's exactly it, right? Like, again, not everybody is super lucky. I got super lucky, and I acknowledge that I got super lucky right out of school. I was, you know, I was in the right place at the right time with my portfolio. I didn't even go to a 3D school. I have a bachelor of animation, for damn sake. Like, I don't have, like, I didn't go to school for 3D, but I got very, very lucky because on my free time, I was still doing 3D on the side, and I really wanted to do that, but I still wanted to get my bachelor's just in case, like, you know, whatever. I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. I had, like, my dreams were everywhere, and I didn't know which one I wanted to, like, stick to and then fail at, right? So, you know, you do have to just make sure that your health and your well-being, your financial state, don't throw everything away for something that might not happen right now. Like, as this person John said in the chat, like, you know, sometimes you just gotta get a different job until it works out, right? You just gotta keep doing stuff on the side, and it's okay. It's okay. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's okay. It's just this industry in general, like, there's so few, like, there's so many jobs, but there's so many people competing for these jobs. That let me give you some perspective on the competition in this industry, especially for new artists. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about Canada and only Canada. In Ontario alone, I can name off the back of my hand, off the top of my head rather, like 10 schools that specialize in 3D graphics, graphic design, animation, you know, all those arts, but not fine arts, but like things that are not fine arts art, right? People that would be focused on 3D. There's like so many schools in just Ontario alone. And each one of these classes, every single year, has roughly 200 students. Just the school that I went to alone, 250 students graduating every single year. So if you go and think like, okay, maybe a class only has 100 students, some have 250. So anywhere from 100 to 250 per school, multiply that by how many schools in that one province, and then multiply that by province, by province, by province, and then add on other countries on top of that. Now think about how many people every single year are being spat out of these schools, and everybody's being told, go get a job, go get a job, go get a job. You're like, it's, a lot of you are not going to get jobs right away. It's just the way it is, right? So if you really want it, what you're going to have to do sometimes is just go and find something else to bide your time so that you can pay the bills. And if you're really passionate about it, do it on the side and keep improving your craft and just keep applying to places and just try to be at the right place at the right time, because it is an extremely competitive field. It really is. It really is. And I'm so stoked every single time I get like a what is it, like a DM, that's what they're called, my goodness. Whenever I get a DM of somebody being like, oh my gosh, I got a job, like it's been like a year, like I've been watching your streams for a year, like I got a job finally, I'm just like, oh my god, that's amazing, congratulations, like that is worthy of celebration, because like I got freaking lucky. I got so lucky right out of school. And I didn't know that right away, but looking at everything and putting in perspective how many people are like just like puked out of schools, right? It makes a lot of sense. It really does. Oh my gosh, so much talking today. I've like barely done anything. Let me do some of this, and I'll try and talk at the same time. What would be good forums for 3D? Oh geez, I'm not very much of a forum person. I can't really help you. I don't know if Polycount is still super active or not. I really don't. I haven't used Polycount in a long time, so, but that's what I would have said before. But I don't know if it's still like active. What matcap do I use? I use Glauco Longi's materials. Hey, Sedge. Grossest, please. Let's see it. Okay, I'll load it up as I'm reading stuff. I should probably save this first, though. Hold up. Hey Kyle, you came into my rant. How are you doing? You're studying animation. I'm really confused where to take it. We have to pick a pathway for second year, or you want to do all of them? Well, I mean, pick something. If it's not right, then, you know it's not right for you, right? Like that's how I think about it. If you don't know what to do, at least pick something, right? You got to pick something. And then you figure out it's a learning experience either way. You either really like it or you learn that you don't like it and you can avoid it in the future. So, all right, let's see. What is it? What is it called? Oh my gosh, I have to remember what I called this stupid thing. That's not the super gross one. Mord, you might want to look away. Yeah, there it is. Okay. This was a while ago. There we go. There you go. There you go. It's one of the more nasty things I think I've ever had the pleasure to sculpt. Yeah, no, Dry Otter, I'm just talking about, like, being a new artist trying to get into the industry, what kind of competition, you know, they're going against, in general. But yeah, like, I mean, the talent that's already out there, of course, that's a big competition as well. Yeah, we're all humans, exactly. Durham? Nice, nice, I know Durham. Yeah, I saved. Oh gosh, I'm so behind on chat. How much would I weigh a degree in the context of an art job? I wouldn't weigh it very highly. I would say, like, you know, you definitely need a degree if you're trying to get a visa. I mean, you don't need one, but it makes the process, like, so much faster. I can't really, like, get into that, but I can find a resource. Oh my gosh, I swear, after this, I'm going to keep sculpting. I just gotta find this for you. John Troy Nickel. He outlined exactly, like, you know, the importance of a degree for art. Let me get that for you. Blog. There we go. So you can look at this. It's amazing. I would not have said it any better. And just go ahead and read that. Check it out. All right. Dark Souls boss, yeah. It's got the big nasties. Yeah, it is brutal. Sweet Sandworm in the New Dune. I wouldn't say Sandworm. Wouldn't say Sandworm. When I remove the whole monster. Much more gross. I can bring up the other one too. I was doing a phobia series and I completely stopped. I need, there's so many sculpts that I want to get back to. But yeah, this is trypophobia. Yeah, I was doing like a bunch of different ones. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this one, if you get like really close up in there, you get to see like the big nasties. Mmm, tasty. Little pumpkin seeds in there. Anyways, I'll delete that one. And I'll load the other one really quickly and then I'll get back to sculpting. These were like part of the trypophobia. This was trypophobia and the other one I can't remember. Fear of something else. I can't remember exactly what it was though. It's been so long. Like when did I, yeah, 2018? Yeah, it's been a while. 1, 2, 15. There we go. You're never enjoying food again. No, okay, Mord, it's gone. It's gone, Mord. Now we got this guy. This is the other one too. This one's just like a fear of bugs. I think it was just like fear of bugs. Because it's like every like nasty like insect like rolled up into one. Yeah, I wish I kind of like finished it. I just never really wanted, I don't know. These ones took me a lot longer than the stuff that I do on these streams. Programming is very difficult. Why can't biohorror be nice and geometric? Nothing's scarier than stepping on Lego block in the dark. You could be the first one to do that, Mav. Wonder how many people just discovered their new phobia from that last model. Nice, amazing acid. Hey, George. Yeah, alright, anyways. And gone you are. Alright, back to this nonsense right here. Alright. Look at my cup. Look at this cup. Look at this cup. It's Monty taking a poop. Do you like it? Do you like Monty taking a poop? Have I met Raphael Grassetti? No, I have not met that man. The myth, the legend. But he is very, very talented. Actually, we're gonna grab this guy right here, pump them out. This guy downwards. Yeah. Ugh. Art or programming more valued in the gaming industries? I feel like as a programmer, you might be easy. It might be easier to get a job, but they're both very much valued. Yeah, I just did a whole hour and 15 minutes of talking, friend. Like, I mean, I didn't do any sculpting, so yeah, I tend to get a little bit more concentrated at points that I want to try and get some things actually hashed in. Otherwise I just sit there and talk the entire time and don't sculpt. So I mean, you tell me if being concentrated is all that bad when I'm supposed to be showing how to sculpt. Oh god, again with the wings. Everybody's like, oh my god, gotta put wings on everything! Foams at mouth. I seen the monster from the ritual? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, now you know about it, David. How would I recommend doing really big folds, like some really baggy, loose trousers? Inflate and pinch. That's how, like, those are the two brushes that I would use for that. I'm not gonna give like a full demonstration right now, but yeah, I would definitely use the inflate and the pinch brush. Oops. There we go. at the comments in a sec. I'm just trying to get this looking a little bit better. I could have IMM'd this, but I decided to do it the stupid way instead. Not the stupid way, but the long way. Okay. Hey, RM, how are you doing? Dragon Ball character? Me and Miko? What? You want to shake the booty? Okay. Yeah, it's over time, and honestly, like, I wouldn't use what I'm doing here as, like, I wouldn't use what I'm doing here as, like, oh, this is definitely, like, correct anatomy, because it's not. I'm not using reference. I would always recommend using reference to make sure that it's right, and I know that I'm messing things up, but, and I have a general understanding through years of practice and studies. To get muscles looking right, you should always be using reference, but for something like this, it's just like a quick sketch. I don't mind if it's not accurate right off the bat. If I wanted to use this for anything else, I would obviously go and find reference and improve upon it. Recommend sculpting original faces. I try to avoid references to not just stick to one person, but then I start doing some really suspiciously alien-like heads for your characters. Yeah, I would grab like a bunch of references. If you're getting alien-like heads for your characters when you're trying to make a person, I would say it's not a bad idea to just copy a couple of references, like, to just pick one person and do a likeness, over and over and over again, do some skulls and things like that, because your underlying problem right now is that you don't understand, what's going on underneath the skin, right? So if you practice doing heads a bunch, then it would help you in general. Hey, Hassan. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use. The flashing symbols, yeah, I don't know what that is. Still don't know what that is. save this. So earlier, when I was saying how the stretch polygons will help me in designing, you can kind of see what I was talking about there. As they've kind of created some lines and some interesting shapes. Oh my god. Yeah, that was very loud, I'm sure. Yeah, he had a good time at the dog park? That's good. He's floofy right now? Is he? I feel like... No, he's wet as hell. I'm not touching that dog. He's so wet. Did he freak out at anyone? Did he bark like crazy? Did he have a reaction? What happened? Tell me. He's wet. He's all wet. He sprayed wetness on me. He shaked, and then I had wet flew at me. He's a very wet boy. You can't tell me he's not. Yeah. I always ask for a complete report. Want to know if he freaked out. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, we're just making a sleepy demon. Any tips for sculpting eyelids? Okay, so you can think of the eyelid as literally just like, again, it depends on the character that you're working on, but if you're thinking in a general sense, an eyelid is just a flap of skin, a thin flap of skin that covers over top of the eye itself, and the eye is more or less round. Wherever your eye is looking, though, your iris actually pops out. So in that area, there will be a minor bump, and that dictates, like, that'll help show you, like, you know, where your eye is looking. So right here, you can see he would be looking straight forward, because, like, that is the dip out. But yeah, in general, like, your eyelids, like, you're gonna want to think of them as wrapping around the eye. Think of the shape underneath the skin. There's plenty of different ways of doing eyelids. I personally like to just sculpt mine in. I brute force it. Shane has, like, a whole other way where he puts different geometry on top of it. I think Polygon also does that, where he puts, like, another piece of geometry on top of it and then merges it later, but I like to brute force it.
looks friendly. Friendly demon. He's just a friendly guy.
Just a misunderstood. He's not really evil. So, question. Has anybody been watching, and I'm not going to be surprised if you say no, because it is kind of like a weird thing. Has anybody been watching the streamers play GTA 5 recently on the RP servers? Because I've been dying laughing at that entire thing. You're so addicted? Yeah, dude, like, it's the funniest. Oh my god. Who do you watch? Because, like, they're pretty much, like, all in the same server, right? Like, most of them. Most of them are all in, I think my favorite character so far is the one that everybody runs into, Eugene. Prune Gang. What? 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 I can't even do it. It's just so freaking funny. Do I work for a gaming company? No, I don't work in games. I actually mostly work in films. If a game company came to me, like, with some work, I would be more than happy to consider doing it, but it's just like, it really, it ends up being like, is it something that fits what I do? I can't see, like, a bunch of studios coming to me with, like, super high-tech robots to do or anything like that. Tim the Tapman? Yeah, he's playing it. It is... Oh, it's so funny. I wish I could play you guys clips. If it were my stream, I would be playing these clips so much. Like, I just love it so much. when Tim is hanging out with Eugene, and Eugene falls asleep at the wheel, and he just starts yelling at him, and then he crashes, and he's just flying. Columbia is still here. Well, hello, Columbia. I'm wondering, I should probably make this less. How did I develop my style over years and years of just, you know, doing art, your style develops over time. You can't just like decide that, you know, you're just gonna have like a certain kind of style. It just kind of like happens over time. Dale? Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching Soda playing it a lot. I love that he basically, like, Soda Pop and basically just RPing himself. It's the funniest thing. I think I love Speedy too. I am also a monster then. Well, I mean, I love pineapple, so I'm only like half monster. I wouldn't say that I'm full monster because red wax can burn in a pit of hell. Okay, so I'm gonna play around with overall like shapes, I guess. Hey, Ravelin, or sorry, Sebastian. I think I said hi to you earlier though. Weren't you here before? Alright, quickly save. I'm gonna do... haven't done transpose master in a while, but I do think that would be... Oh, what the heck? No. No. There we go. There. Folders are very useful. I just don't usually use them when I'm doing this kind of work. I don't find there to be a need when I'm doing quick sketches. But I have been using the folders for my actual work a lot. I think, actually... Pizza logic. God. Thanks again, Mord. Hello. Oh god, you're so wet. Oh my god. Hello, moist boy. Hello, moist boy. Hello. Dog struction, yeah. Hey, Boo Boo? Hey, Boo Boo, come here. Come. Come. Hi. Hi. Okay, what am I trying to do? Okay, grab, 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 boom, done. Okay, there we go. Like a forest spirit? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Cool music? Yeah, I'm glad you like it. It's just like free, royalty free, or at least Creative Commons allowed music. Kind of in the background being used from like a separate, just like this random site. I don't even know. Like I don't know what all of the playlists are. But I'm glad it's good. I'm glad it's awesome. All right, I think that's good. To yeah, and then I'll accept that. Post to sub T. Done. Go save arenas. So that's like what I just did was the T-pose, the transpose master. Transpose master was it's really good for playing with like overall proportions of things. That's usually what I use it for anyways. give him eyelashes. I don't know why. I just feel like he needs some eyelashes. My god, what am I? Yeah. Alright, see you, Sebastian. Always lose the stream. Yeah, well, I mean, I know. Yeah. You can always watch it on YouTube, but I know if I could stream at every single time zone, I would, but I can't. Fake eyelashes. Fake eyelashes are pretty dope. I like them. I wear them sometimes. Not today, though. Not today. Today's not that day. He's wearing the fakies, the falsies. Actually, would that be kind of cool if he, like... if he was, like, a forest... like a forest spirit thing? I feel like that could be kind of neat, as somebody had said.
Inhale and exhale.
Stranger Things 3. I still haven't seen that. The trailer for it. Hey, Ken. Yeah, I know. It's out today? Yeah, well, no, not all of Stranger Things, but the trailer is. I know the trailer is out, and I just never really looked into it. One of those things where I like, again, like I want to play with the silhouette here. Okay, I'm gonna do another T-pose mesh. know. I want to give him them shoulders. How you doing, Jackal? Lurking while you work out. Amazing. Amazing. Here, I'm gonna drop this. I'm just gonna go start working out right now. I actually really want to run.
Clear my mind, close my eyes, where am I? Bumpy right, looking out across the sky. As the wind blows in my face, there is water, water everywhere. How did I get here?
I'm gonna take like actual, like just an IMM hand and throw it in there so I don't have to deal.
Is all just a dream? Sails and rudder on the ship, rum and beer, I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I won't remember a thing. Sails and rudder on the ship, rum and beer, I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I will be hungover.
Oops.
What have I done? Can someone remind me? 'Cause to me this soul is just a blur. The last thing that I remember is a party, then nothing else. How did I get here? Who is that man over there? Will I ever find out? It's all just a dream. Tell myself, never will I do this again. Tell myself.
All right, Rav. See you. Have a great night. You want to be lean like this guy? Oh my god. This guy's kind of... I don't think you want this body, to be honest. Like, this is kind of a nasty body. Like, just being real. I'm just like, so a lot of what I'm doing right now is just like looking at like proportion. Seeing if like the silhouette is interesting enough before kind of like continuing. I don't care how like messy and ugly that looks. It's more of just like for proportions. So already I feel like this is getting in a lot more character than it was before, because like before, let's like, hold on, let's delete these. Delete this. Alright, and then I'm gonna load up like I guess, number 3 before any of these changes were really made. So that's what it was before, and then we gave it more of like a silhouette boost. And all of a sudden it's got like so much more character because we're looking at like more extreme shapes. This is like boring. This isn't saying anything. This is saying a lot more. He's got a crazy posture. He's kind of poofing out, you know, he's got that stature, right? Like that's the difference between, you know, just leaving something as like, oh, you know, this is just like a regular body type or whatever. And then you just like push it to an extreme and you get something interesting. Work with like shapes as like your base thing that you're looking for. This doesn't have very like anything interesting, and I'll demonstrate that further. So you look at this, it's just kind of like up and down. Like there's nothing in particular that you gravitate towards specifically. Like there's nothing, no exaggeration. It's just kind of there. It's like, okay, it's a body. Like I understand what it is, but you don't gravitate anywhere in particular. Whereas here, this feels like way stronger. Way stronger. There's a lot more contrast between shapes for the silhouette in general. You're drawn up here for sure, which is where the head is, and this is looking really pointy, whereas everything else is really round. So you've got like that contrast that's happening here as well. The overall like proportions, like hands to arms, like all of these shapes are looking a lot more interesting and valid compared to this. This is just sort of like, aight, and then you push it, aight, and then you push it, right? You and the boy that she tells you not to worry about. You. Him. Alright. Leg day. Nah, he doesn't need it. What would be a great body? The body that you have. And every one of us has in here. That's a great body. Not this guy. This guy I'm shaming. I'm body shaming this guy. Screw this guy's body. Oh, it's 8. Okay, I'm gonna take like a quick break before finishing this stream up. So this is the 2-hour mark. I'm just gonna do this. There we go. And I'm gonna get up my BRB. With my BRB. Yeah, I'll put it right here. There we go. Perfect. No, it's not. I should put it up here so you can read it. Alright, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna get up, stretch. You guys should as well. And then it'll be another 2 hours of streaming to get this guy complete. Man, Monty knows. He just knows. Like, when I say, look at him, he got ready right by the door over there. He just knows every single time I'm either ending stream or I'm about to take a break. It's like I say the same things all the time. It's so funny. Alright, yeah, I'll be back for another 2 hours of stream and get up, stretch, all that kind of stuff. Okay? BRB. BRB. Okay. Get that BRB off the screen and keep it going. There we go. Less asking for advice and more doing 3D. Yes, yes. Do the 3D. Do it. Hey, Doom. Yeah, his hips are kind of intense right now. I didn't get to that yet. Everything on him is kind of intense right now. But yeah, like this sticking out right here, very intense. Not exactly what we were going for. If anything, like this would go back, this would come out. And down. It's like from 3/4, it's a little bit much. Booty. Some real cheeks. Yeah, he's got them cheeks. All right, I'm gonna do where's IMM? Do we got a hand? Yeah, we got a hand. A hand here. So first of all, I'm gonna kill this. Neat. And I'm just gonna do this. And I'll adjust this. So then I don't have to bother with everything else. Am I excited for Game of Thrones? I know I'm gonna get kind of like crapped on for this, but like not really. I mean, it'll be something to watch, I guess. Like, I'm excited because it's one of those things like, oh yeah, it'll be something to watch, and then like everybody will be watching it. Like, I know it'll be one of those things where like literally everyone will watch it, and so then it'll be like a conversation point, which is always exciting to have more conversation points. But I don't know. It just feels so fan servicey now. Does that make sense? I don't know. I didn't read the books or anything like that, but it kind of turned into like very fan servicey in my opinion. Like, it just feels like, oh, like all these characters that are popular, they have so much plot armor that they won't die because they're just like, they're popular. Whereas like before, it was just like anything could happen, and for the sake of the story, like a character would just die, or a character would be faced with something like really, really horrible. I just feel like the writing is a lot weaker than earlier seasons. I'm excited for it to end though. Like I kind of want it to just be done. Went through the books many seasons ago. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like the books were only for like a few seasons, and then they just kind of like did their own thing. And I don't know. Their own thing doesn't feel as like, it just feels like fan service. I don't know how to explain it. Like I never read the books, but I feel like the style isn't the same. Magoo is upset. Even the cameramen die, even the guy that makes the coffee, they're all dead. They just die. Ah. Well, maybe I can get on board with that. I'll come back to the hands, I think. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Alright, this guy and these guys. I'm gonna start merging stuff down. So these two. Merge down. Yeah. Someone saying that the directors were really good at adapting the text, but weaker when creating their own. Yeah. No, I can see that. Like, I don't know. I think it's also just been a while, like, since the Game of Thrones hype, and so, like, I don't know. I think that has kind of helped make it all kind of wear off for me. Like, I'm not as excited about it. Oh my goodness, somebody is so upset. Someone is so upset. merge down is the answer then? Wait, hold on, sorry. So you put hands on the wrist like that, how does the arm and hand become one? Yeah, I merge down and then I Dynamesh. That's basically what happens. Do I have anything that I'm excited about? No, life is very... Okay, well, we're not gonna... I'm excited about a new contract that I got that I can't talk about. Yeah, I can't really say that, like, I'm looking... I don't think I'm really, like, looking forward to many films or anything that's coming out right now. I can't really, like, think of anything off the top of my head that I'm excited about, like, the release of it. I mean, a lot of the time, like, I just end up watching things and I'm like, ooh, that was actually surprisingly good. Like, it wasn't, like, a build-up to it. Like, I recently watched on Netflix the show Russian Doll. That was really cool. That was really good. Love, Death, Robots. Surprisingly awesome. I haven't seen all of them, though. I'm only on episode 4, so no spoilers for the other things, but it's like an Animatrix kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say that I'm, like, overly excited for anything in particular. Love, Death, Robots is it's like a bunch of, like, shorts. It's not like one consecutive thing. It's like a whole bunch of, like, tiny stories that a bunch of different people made, and they're all different styles. It's really cool. 7 is the best episode? Okay. I found, like, the first one that I watched was, like, really cool visually, but, like, otherwise, like, the pacing of it was awful in my opinion. Like, the character building, there was none. Like, I just feel like it was one of those things where somebody had an idea and they wanted to make it, like, but they didn't know how to write or something. I don't know. But it looked absolutely amazing. I don't expect any less from Blur. Like, it looked absolutely incredible. I think Monty wants to be on stream. Until episode of last season gets released and you get hyped again. Maybe, yeah, if I get hyped. We'll see. Why don't I post my work on ArtStation? You mean the stuff that I do here on the Pixologic channel? I think it's just, like, I don't really want to post sketches on ArtStation, even though I have posted sketches on it. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't know. I've got, like, this weird thing of, like, I just don't update it as much as I should. I know I should. I just don't. But yeah, like, I definitely should be putting more stuff up there. Yeah, it's not about likes though. That's the thing. I think I was saying that earlier. It really isn't about likes. When I post stuff, it's not about likes. It's not about how many people click a button. It's more about just like putting it out there. Like I try not to think about like, you know, one post getting more likes than other posts. Because a lot of the time it's just like, you know, of course certain things are going to get more likes than others based on the like general popularity of certain types of artwork. Like for example, if I were to post one of my stylized girls, a stylized girl, it's always gonna get like a ton of traction because of the, it's what all of the guys want to see, right? On ArtStation, it's just like, you know, it's something that everybody wants to see. It's liked universally. There isn't like a niche for it. It's like stylized girl is just gonna get like tons of clicks, especially like same with artistic nudity or anything that's like a pin-up or anything like that is gonna get way more likes than and attention than like pretty much anything, honestly. So because of that, like I just like I don't care because like you know, I don't always post stylized girls. Like that's not, I don't know, it's not really like something that I do a lot of unless it's for work. And I don't know, I just don't really care like if something gets like a lot more likes than another thing, because it doesn't really mean that much to me other than, well, something is more popular, like this genre is more popular than the other one, and it's just like it doesn't really speak to me in any particular way. This guy looks like a stand-up dude. Well, he is standing up. Let's do... IMM hand kind of always bugs me because of the pinky being so much, like, it's just proportionally is weird. Like the pinky is always just like proportionally weird with IMM hand. Do I have my own kit bashing library? Yes and no. A lot of the time, like, I just pull from other things that I've done, but I wouldn't say that it's like a specific library. I have like sketches, like, and I just kind of go through that. I need to like label things better though. Along with biceps at negative 200%. Oh, so you did lifting? That's intense. Zero Central doesn't have the kind of activity it did 7 years ago back in the day. That's when you wanted to see, that's where you went to see sweet character model. It's still pretty active. Like, I see a lot of people uploading there a lot. Like, I mean, yeah, it might, you know, like, it's usually more active at the release of a new version of ZBrush. Like, whenever there's an update or anything, like, people usually, like, just go crazy. The mech snake thing? Yeah, I made that. That was for the 4.8 beta. Yeah. Hey Elmo. I'm good. Hey Chuck. Lifting and hit, oh, intervals, yeah. That's good. I gotta get back to lifting. I haven't been lifting for a little bit now, like a couple months. That's what day it was. Nice. No, that's awesome. You're gonna feel so good tomorrow. I only known one person who got job offer from someone seeing their work online. Artists chase the jobs, not the other way around. Yeah, in general, yes. Yes, in general. But if you're very visible, then you will be approached. You need a pain buddy? Okay, well, I'll just like, I'll go and work myself to death, and then we can both suffer and agonize in the Discord together. Alright, let's do this, fill object. Actually, let's fill it with this. And then to paint. This. 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 And overall, man. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, man. Lacking in the feet department. Alright. Alright. Let's do this. Let's get this guy down here. Hey, Tomas, how you doing? What's up? How's it going? Oh no. Oh no, here goes my eye. Okay. I think maybe I'm allergic to Tomas. Maybe that's what it is. Guys, if you don't know, Tomas is also a streamer here on the Pixelogic channel. You should definitely go and check out his streams because he is amazeballs. And he's a funny dude. You could literally just hang out late night if you have stuff to do. The way that I hang out in his streams. I just do it like really late at night when he's streaming. And I've got other things that I'm doing. And he's just rambling in the background. Makes me happy. Thomas's class of Kingsling is amazing. Well, there you go. There you go. The boss. Notice most, if not all, of the Pixelogic streamers freelance. Is that the standard of the industry? Is it even reasonable to hope to get to a studio job, or is that a rarity? So the thing is, like, a lot of people might freelance as well as work in a studio. A lot of people who say they freelance, they're already working in a studio somewhere, or they're freelancing for a studio. In my experience, a lot of the times, like, I freelance for studios. I've done a lot of studio freelance work. Sometimes individuals, but it kind of depends. It depends on how busy the season is. I wouldn't say that, you know, it's impossible to get a studio job, but I think that to get a studio job, it helps, like, if you're able to relocate yourself. It depends. It really depends on the studio. Like, I can't say, like, I can't give you, like, a broad answer. But yeah, a lot of people do freelance in this industry for sure. Or another thing is, like, a lot of people label themselves freelancers. I wouldn't say on this channel specifically, but a lot of people in the industry, I've found, if, like, you know, they're taking, like, breaks in between work, they might label themselves a freelancer, even if, like, they don't really, like, they're not, like, doing a lot of stuff. Freelance is kind of like a general term, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't, yeah. You can broad answer, it's real difficult. Yeah, I guess, like I said, like, in general, at the beginning of this stream, I kind of, like, went over getting a job in the industry and, like, how much of a how much competition there is out there, and how much you're going against. So you can rewind and check that out if you want. When I start ranting about it, I'm not gonna do it again, but it you know, in general, like, you're going against a lot of competition, so freelance is a very common thing. Yeah, that's exactly the argument that I had brought up, like, earlier. Alright, these guys right here, kind of wanna do that. Do this. Actually, I'm gonna delete that. Like this. Not at all. Wondering if I wanna delete that too. Don't like this. Yeah. So if you're okay, so oh my god, it's such a hard thing to answer. I think the best thing that I can tell anyone trying to get into this work, into this industry, is like, just make sure that it is what you want to do before giving up too much. Because of the intense competition, I don't want to tell anybody like, oh, you gotta like work constantly at it, and then they do work constantly at it, they don't get the job, and like all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, I have no money, I can't support myself because I didn't even, I didn't go through school, I didn't like, bother with anything else, I just wanted to do art, and I just kind of gave up everything else. Like, I wouldn't do that. I really wouldn't do that. I'd have like a plan B. I really would. Because like, as interesting as it is, and not interesting, but like, as optimistic as it is to say, oh, if you love something, just put your all into it and it'll happen one day. It's like, it's not 100% true all the time, because it's not just, I would say that it's not just all of the work that, the hours that you put into something. It's also being in the right place at the right time. Like, luck does come into play here, whether you believe in luck or not. I just feel like it does come into play when finding a job in the industry, especially one that you're gonna like. You could probably, like, if you kept working hard enough, you could probably get a bunch of like odd jobs that are not exactly what you want to do. Like, I know a lot of people almost everybody here wants to be a character artist. There's not that many characters in the world to create, like it's not that high demand. Like, not everybody needs characters. So if everybody wants to be that, then there's a little bit of luck in there as well. It's not like, just like somebody needs to be in the right place at the right time. It's, you could be working your entire life at becoming better at something, and then, whoever else gets the opportunities because they were just there, they were just talking to people, they were networking, and they happen to be what, the industry professionals or the people who are hiring were thinking about at the time. And so it just, there's a lot of different factors, and so I would never like tell somebody, give up everything, because to pursue what you love, like, oh, it's your passion, throw away everything that you love, or throw away everything that you're doing right now and just focus on your passion and whatever. That's just stupid. Like, it's stupid, especially for something like this. It's like the same as like that whole like, oh, you're young, you have to travel the whole world even though you have no money to do it. Just throw away everything and travel the world because you're never gonna get a chance to do it when you're older. Like, that whole like mentality is the same sort of thing. It's like idealistic and not realistic. Like, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta be practical. Don't just be like, oh, I want to be a character artist and I'm just gonna focus on doing 3D art and only 3D art, and I'm just gonna throw my school to the wind. I mean, okay, great. You graduate, you didn't do very well, or maybe you didn't even graduate, you just drop out, and you're just, pumping away at 3D, and you can't pay rent. Now what, right? So, I'm never gonna tell somebody, like, give up everything, focus on it, like, pay 100% attention to doing art, and then you're gonna get a job, because that's not true. It's not even guaranteed that you're gonna get a job after that. It just really isn't. And I wish I could say that it's guaranteed that you're gonna get a job. It's so not. It's so not. Just like if you were to travel the world while you're younger, and you threw away everything to go and do that because, it's your dream, like, you want to do it or whatever, like, oh, I gotta travel the world, you go do it, like, but if you come back, you can't pay rent, now what? I don't know, I just think it's giving yourself unnecessary stress. And the thing is too, the ugly truth of it is, you know, even if you were to give up everything and just focus on 3D, a lot of people who say they're giving up everything and focusing on 3D or like art in general, they would maybe like spend like 2 hours a day, if that, and they'd be like, yeah, all my focus is going into it, but really like it's not, or you know, they're teaching themselves in a way that maybe is misguided and they're being redundant with their self-teaching, right? You know, maybe they're not doing their anatomy studies or just studies in general, and they just keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and so they're not really going to be improving or getting anywhere, but they're focusing on, you know, like it's not like yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't believe in telling people that. I believe that yes, you need to put in as much time as you can in a healthy way into art, and you have to be honest with yourself and say, am I putting enough time into this? Am I improving? Then there's a possibility that you can get the job, even with a side job, right? Like, let's say you had to pick up being barista or a bartender or, you know, a busboy or whatever the heck for a while, and just to pay your bills, get through life, feed yourself, right? That's not a bad thing, as long as you're taking what time you can to put into your passion. That passion will eventually become something, but always take care of yourself first. Don't lose yourself in like this idealistic like fantasy world. And I don't know, man. Have a family member buy a studio. There you go. There you go. An ability to hold yourself only 2 hours a day, you could go insane. Oh man. Talking to someone at her church today, the woman said, why don't you come volunteer for us? And she's like, I don't want to work for free. I'm ready to get a paid job, and got no response. I'm sort of in the same boat. Like, okay, like if you're not, so that's the thing, like if you're not working, you know, at a job. Okay, so the whole volunteer thing, like I agree, like you shouldn't be working for free, but if, you know, it's just like if it's just volunteering at your church or like a homeless shelter or, you know, the SPCA or whatever the heck, right? Like that's amazing. That's a great thing to volunteer for. Doing an internship for free, that's not really, I'm kind of iffy about that, right? Because a lot of the internships I hear are like people doing actual free work. Like it's not them learning, it's just like really mundane tasks. But again, can't speak for all of them. You got to use your brain cells on that one and decide if it's something that that will benefit you and you'll learn from it, and it's not just like free labor. But getting like a paid job, it doesn't necessarily, like, you know, if you could get like anything just to bide your time, just so that you're doing something, making some kind of an income, is very important just in terms of life in general, to be making some sort of a living. Because, you know, any kind of a job that you get, like whether it's in art or not in art, you're still learning life skills. And as much as I say, like art is a lifestyle, like being an artist is a lifestyle. It's not just a career choice, it is a lifestyle. You still need to learn other skills as well. So I wouldn't look at getting a job outside of the art field temporarily as a bad thing, as long as you're, you know, moving forward, right? Like you're doing something. If you just kind of sit there and you don't do anything, then that's on you. You had a student complain she was working so hard she put in 2.3 hours on it this week. Oh, that's like annoying. That's super annoying. I mean, okay, it's one thing if you actually don't have any time, and 2.3 hours is all you could put into it because you were working like 2 jobs and you're babysitting and like doing all these chores and stuff like that, and 2.3 hours is literally the only time that you could squeeze in. Fine, that is working hard on it. But if you had, like, literally was sitting there on YouTube, like, oh, I guess I gotta, okay, video time. Like, no. Stop it. No, that's not working hard. Stop. Just stop. You're lying to yourself. There's no point in lying to other people as well. They're gonna see through your BS. And you're just embarrassing yourself. Stop it. Stop. 3D isn't viable sometimes, and studying more to have something to fall back on. Is there a way to combine? Could you study something that could serve as production supervisor or lead of some department? I mean, okay. Studying more to have something to fall back on. Well, if you, I would say, I always think that having some sort of like business understanding, like I wish that I had some sort of a business understanding. If I knew money and marketing and selling things, you know, like business, like if you can't get any, like if you want to study something else, I would say across the board, business is probably something that is viable everywhere, right? If you think about business, I don't know. You gotta get a job. Oh, shoot. Dang, me too. Oh, man. Exposure Studios, yes. Yes, come work for Exposure Studios. Hey, Koji. Just got a like from me on Insta. Oh, that's great. Watching YouTube videos is such hard work and stuff, okay? Oh, so hard. So difficult. So much time. Alright, so when you're okay, so that's another thing. Frig, man. People being like, but I watch YouTube for tutorials. Like, I'm just spending so much time every day watching tutorials. Yeah, okay, how much of that has actually been applied to your work? Like, honestly, like, are you just using tutorials as, like, an excuse not to do work? Like, you can watch so many tutorials and, like, honestly, you're not gonna get better. You need to find tutorials that are applicable to the things that you're doing at the time in order to learn anything. Like if you just sit there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna learn like fur grooming, starts going through a whole bunch of like fur grooming tutorials on YouTube. Wow, look at all of these things that are just going in one ear and out the other because I'm not applying these skills. Wow, I'm not actually learning anything. I'm just wasting my time watching these tutorials without actually applying what I'm seeing. If you're watching a tutorial and then immediately afterwards doing it, or doing work as you're watching the tutorial and scrubbing through to understand what you're doing and making it applicable, then you're learning. But if you're just watching something and then clicking next, watching something and clicking next, none of that's gonna stick. None of it. You're gonna forget everything. It is a complete waste of time. I'm so sorry, but tutorials are amazing, amazing things if you're using them properly. If you're just sitting there going like it's not, you're not doing anything. You're probably gonna start spacing out halfway through too. Like you're just gonna space out, start thinking about, oh, I gotta do the dishes. Oh man, you know, Game of Thrones is coming out too. Oh, whoa, I was watching a tutorial. Like, you know, like you gotta be doing something with it, right? You're trying to sell tutorials. Like I said, tutorials are amazing if you're using them properly. If you're just using them as you have to be honest with yourself. If you're using them as like a time waster, like you're like, oh, I want to learn. It's like a lazy way of. It's like procrastination in a weird way, you know. You just put on a tutorial and you convince yourself, hey, like I'm learning something, but you're really like a lot of the time you're not. You could be learning so much more if you were applying it. I guess you've been on that road, Tomas. No, then again, everything leads to that, though. Alright, I'm gonna merge these down. these hands. I really do. Alright. Am I bringing a model to Crits Day on Monday? You mean to your stream? What would you want to critique? Which one would you want to critique? You tell me and I'll just drop it off, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay awake that long. Skip to the very ending first and inspect the results, and if that looks like something that you want to learn, then it's safe to spend some time on it. Yeah, I like to just skim things quickly and see if that's even like what I'm looking for, before sitting there and watching the entire thing. Because again, like, it is like a huge time sink, and you could be, you know, actually applying your skills rather than sitting there watching something that isn't beneficial. I don't know, pick anything. Are you sure about that? Scan through stuff to see if it's something you need, and sometimes it's just store in the memory banks, and later if I need to go back and learn it. Yeah, I typically only, like, I don't know. I find the best way, okay, again, like, what I said before is specifically for the people who procrastinate and say, like, they procrastinate by watching tutorials, if that makes sense. Like, they just sit there and just go through tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, convincing themselves, like, this is work, I'm doing work, instead of sitting there and actually doing something, right? I'm not attacking the people who actually go through tutorials and then, like, you know, as they need them, or to understand a concept better. Like, I'm not attacking those people whatsoever, or tutorials in general. I'm just saying the people that are using tutorials as a procrastination device, because there's a lot of people that I know, and when I was in school I would do this as well, that literally are just like, oh, I'm just gonna spend all day today, instead of working, I'm just gonna go through tutorials. Why? Like, when you're working, if you find something that you need to improve on, like, as you're working on something, you run across an issue, you're like, oh, can I do this faster? Then you type that in, figure out if you can find any tutorials based on that, like, the tools that you need or what you want to learn, and then it's like a much faster way of learning, a much faster way of developing, and it'll stick with you a lot more because you're applying that skill immediately rather than sitting there and absorbing, because your brain can't absorb, like, a whole bunch of things all at once. You can't just sit there and be like, this is work, and just absorb everything. It's like, I don't know, like, think about when you were in school. How much of math class from, like, grade 7 do you remember? Okay, maybe not grade 7, but, like, if you ever, like, went into okay, a lot of you are engineers. Okay. What's a class that, like, I don't know, just think of, like, a class that you haven't taken in a very long time. How much of that do you even remember? Like, people would just, like, you know, they'd be talking to you and teaching you and teaching you and teaching you, but until you actually sat down and did your homework, none of it actually sticks. That's why homework is assigned in the first place, is so that you do it and so you can understand, so you can figure it out. Because when somebody's talking to you and explaining a theory, it's just that, it's just a theory, but until you apply it, it doesn't, all the connections aren't made in your brain properly, basically. Yeah, muscle memory is super vital, exactly. A lot of artists tend to spend hours collecting references instead of just focusing on key refs and then just going straight for the blockout and prototyping. Yeah, I feel like that's another thing too, is, like, ref hoarding. It's really good to have, like, a folder of references, like, you know, if you come across something, like, for me, for example, like, if I come across, like, an animal or something like that, then I'm like, yo, this is, like, really cool. Then I, like, collect a couple of, like, images of that, and I keep it for later in case, like, I need to, like, go in and do something to do with, like, something that's really exotic or whatever. But you know, before starting a project, I'm not, like, I don't typically spend too ridiculously long looking for references. I find like a couple that really work for the general concept that I'm working on, you know, just a handful of images. Because again, you can overwhelm yourself as an artist, you know, you're just like looking at like this entire screen of like hundreds of images, like, oh, I got so many references, like that's not gonna help you. Like it's really not gonna help you when you have like hundreds and hundreds of pictures up on the screen. Like figure out what it is exactly that you want to do, use those few images, and then as you're going through things, let's say now you're working on torso anatomy, you want to look up torsos, then that's fine, then you start refining, right? But you have to learn how to generalize. I think that's a big thing. And apply. Generalize and then apply. It's you know, being an artist is like, I think just like with anything, a good skill to learn is learning how to learn. Learning how to learn is a very, very important thing. Because a lot of people just kind of like, you know, they just start going at it and it doesn't really help them. All right. I need to do stuff here. All right. I was gonna do some curve stuff. This guy. I think I'm gonna merge down with the hands because I've only got like 40 minutes left. But yeah, I'm not trying to, again, like, I'm not trying to attack anyone or anything. I'm just trying to say, like, you know, if you just gotta be honest with yourself. Like, are you doing stuff to benefit yourself, or are you just avoiding actually working? Oh, I keep hitting focal shift. 5 minutes of sculpting, 5 minutes of banter. Yeah, I know. I need to talk and work at the same time. I think the thing that's a little bit difficult though is that I'm like designing at the same time, so I'm using most of my brain. And so when it comes to me trying to like figure out how to talk at the same time as sculpting, it's fine if I was going from a reference, but the thing is like a lot of this is design based as well, so I have like a hard time doing both at the same time, like exactly the same time, because I'm trying to like think of, you know, I'm designing at as well, and so that can be pretty tricky. But I do my best. Suck at self-teaching. Well, a lot of people have like I think the thing is just like having a curriculum basically, right? So if you can make that for yourself, if you know how to like break down a project, it can be very helpful. So the people who and somebody who is unable to focus on a project without somebody like a pressure, if you're unable to pressure yourself, then having a teacher is also best. Underwater basket leaving. Hey, Kella. Oh, that's great, right? I don't yell at you guys. Why would I yell at you? Someone in Flip Normal's Discord said something worth repeating. If you want to get into the industry, search ArtStation for people who are juniors at the major studios in the role that you want. Compare your work to theirs and then work towards that specific goal, that level. Don't get distracted by other stuff along the way. Work until you're comparable to those specific people. That way you're not comparing yourself to art directors. You've got a reasonable goal. Yeah, no, I understand. I do understand that, and I would say yes, but there's so many other factors to getting hired as well. I mean, like, if you... That is fair. That's a very fair approach. I'm gonna say that there's multiple approaches to finding, you know, getting better at things and boosting yourself up and giving yourself the confidence that you need to keep going. That is a very fair approach, a very valid approach to doing something. I wouldn't say it's the only one and what everybody should do, but it is definitely a good idea. Why you crash all the time? Maybe because you're working at like billions of polygons. I don't know, or your computer hates you. Okay, this is gonna sound like really weird, but I am confident that it is a thing. Some people no matter what, technology just won't work with them. Like there are technologically gifted people as there are technologically stunted people, and I have a family member who, no matter what you give them, it will break. Like they'll manage to screw it up somehow just by touching it, doing the exact same things that I told them to do with like an iPad, for example. Just, like showing them this is what you do. They do exactly that. They somehow mess it up. They somehow break it. And it's like that with everything. And I feel like there are some people, they just have like, they emit something. Like maybe they have like more electricity in them or something. And they fry things. They just make things not work. Now, I don't know if this is like, it's got any merit to it. I'm a little superstitious about it. But I think, I think there's certain people technologically stunted. Oh man. I'm so happy with this guy. I feel like something right here is needed. I can't really... this whole character you worked on your guy's eyelid for a solid. Again, it's just like, you know, the more that you do it, the faster you get. So like, don't even, like, just don't even worry about it. Like, speed just kind of comes over time. Like, when I first started streaming, I was a lot slower than this. I would spend a long time doing anything, but the more I've gotten into concept, it's kind of been like, yeah, I gotta get things done quick, and I care less about refining things. I just need to get general ideas down. The refinement stage is always gonna take me a million damn years, just like anyone else, but for like, you know, the just, you know, getting an idea down, like, it's become a lot faster because you just get comfortable with throwing down shapes and not worrying so much. Yeah. Let's do... Actually, I gotta save this really quick. We've got 20 minutes. Oh my god, what can I do in 20 minutes? Alright. Let's tell a story. I gotta tell a story with this guy. So, what I'm gonna do... here. Actually, let me... Okay, I feel like that's good enough. This guy here. Can we get him to like sit on top of his head maybe? comfortably anyways. It'll have to be facing the other way. Yeah, we could do this. I don't mind. Actually, throw them back here as well. I don't think I like that guy up there. Die. Okay. No. Dead. Yes, bird. You put a bread on your cat's face once. Oh, it's so funny. They're like, there's a thing. Have you seen the cheese thing that's been happening lately? People are like throwing like American cheese, like the cheese slices, just. A billion times a day, but what material am I using? I'm using Glauco Longi's material. It's just really nice, really easy. Ooh. Can I do a human character? You want me to just like sculpt a human? I mean, there's a lot of other streamers on here that are doing that kind of stuff. I feel like if I were to do that, it would just be like redundant because everybody here is kind of, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of streamers already doing that, so. You like this song? Nice. I'm glad. I did not make this playlist. It's like a royalty or copyright free or something free playlist. Alright, I don't really have time to like line this whole guy up. But at least we're kind of telling a bit of a story here. A bit. Chrono Trigger meets Donna Summer in the Michael Jackson Thriller. That's a lot of random stuff. That is a lot of random. This song is called Random. Oh, or were you talking about the song and not the, Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about the art. Oh, really, dude, what? Bro, what? That's so much random. save that. Sony's antler guy? What, do they actually have an antler guy? That's funny. Oh my god, the eyelash. Oh yeah. You're that guy that makes stuff and no one cares about it. What? What? What do you mean? I feel like I'm coming into the middle of a conversation and being very confused right now. Alright, okay. So I'm just gonna... Here we go. Okay, let's split this. Just so... Did this? Yeah, this did. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly make sure all of this doesn't look like complete nastiness. And then that'll be the end of this sculpt. This sketch, rather. I feel like it's important to emphasize that it's a sketch. Go. Beauty, beauty. Beauty. Beauty, beauty. Okay. Saberinos. Link. Hey. Alright, Mr. Magoo over here. We're gonna put him right here. Here, do one of these. Oh yes. Then we're gonna do one of these. Oh yes. And then I don't know if this will. Nah. Let's try again. Let's do one of these. One of these. One of these. And one of these. There we go. Perfecto. Time for that camera 28. No. No, we've moved on. Now we have the real camera. Alright, so that is what we ended up doing today. This is very iffy in this area. I'm not exactly happy with that, but whatever. For a sketch, I feel like it's alright. It's okay. I mean, it's not my most proud work, but we told a little bit of a story with it, and that's fine. Yeah, so I'm live here every Wednesday, so you feel free to catch next Wednesday stream, I guess. Wait, am I streaming next Wednesday? What's today? Yes, next Wednesday's stream. And you follow Pixelogic channel, and you can follow me at twitch.tv/a_cubed, or we can get all my socials up in here. Well. Bing. Or you can follow me on any of those. Wowie. Wow. Yeah. I don't really know what else to add. I could throw on some of the nah. Nah, I'm not gonna do the filter stuff. We're at the end of the stream. I'm not gonna go through that. Yeah, so, hey Doom. Yeah. Hey Herno. Yeah, I know. At the end of the stream. Oh my gosh. I gotta take a break. Always. These are always like so long. I enjoy doing them, but I just like, dang. 4 hours is a while. Oh, okay. Alright. See you guys next Wednesday again. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You can follow me on all these things. You can follow the Pixelogic channel. Who's up next? Right. Who's up next? Let's see. Tonight, we've got Steven Anderson at 8 p.m. PST, as always. So it's an hour after I'm done here. So once I'm done, and wait an hour, and then Steven's gonna be live. So you can hang out with him, check out his work. It's very cool. He's doing. I think he's still working on like a Candyland sort of environment. It's actually really cool. It looks really good. 4 hours all the time. It like when you get, I don't know, because I do like sort of intervals of talking and then sculpting, and that kind of like helps keep it going, because if I were to just like talk the entire time, probably would lose my voice. All right, anyways guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you later. Bye bye.